And we're live, and if you bear with me for just a moment, I will have done it the right way. But right way, now we're in the wrong way. Anyway, I'm Dave. Boogie with the Bull, Boogie with the Bull, Boogie with the Bull. Morning caffeine, and I got caught a little bit trying to get done what I need to get done. Randy Rhodes, you now have a link, and you should be able to join. I hope we are live on the Dave Gloven profile, and we're live on Facebook, and we're live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And if you come and join me, we can talk about anything you want before Randy Rhodes joins us. I'm going to bring to the table the Brunson case. If you don't know the Brunson case, I guess in a multitude of levels, it completely alleges that the Biden presidency was illegal because he wasn't elected. It claims that Trump did, in fact, win the 2020 election. Read up on it, get familiar with it, because Wednesday we're going to discuss it. Now it appears that it might have moved to a military court, or a military court might have looked at it, and a military court is ready to rule. I'm not 100% sure, but the question that I have for you is that if, in fact, a military court rules that it was illegal, where are we? And don't just tell me that we had 4 years of an illegal president. What do we do?
Dave?
Yep.
Just curious what your timeline is, what your picture is.
12 noon.
What?
12 noon.
So you're going to be ready to go?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So you've heard that I have to be done by 11:30 this morning. I'll probably be done before 11 o'clock this morning. Excuse me, before 11:30 this morning. That's where we are. But what I want to look at is the Brunson case. And I'm seeing Michael Anthony is in the live chat. So bear with me one more time. I'm going to try to send Michael a link. And I don't know why I brought it up there. I'm going to try to send Michael Anthony a link and see if Michael will come in, because Michael knows a lot of things, and Michael knows about the Brunson case. And I'm really trying to find an update as to where we stand with that. When we brought it up originally, when we brought it up originally and wanted to talk about it, and everybody was talking about it, there, Michael, if you have a link. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome to join us. When we all brought it up originally, what it was a case that alleged that Trump won the 2020 election. In very simple terms, Trump won the 2020 election. Good morning, Mama D, Denise. I'm glad that you're watching. I'm looking at my phone to make sure that we are in fact connected this morning. Randy Rhodes has joined us, and where I am this morning is, I understand, I know, I'm not discounting anything about planes and helicopters and whatever, but where I really want to move back this morning is Michael brought it up, I brought it up, other people brought it up, we all kind of talked about it, and then it kind of felt like we swept it under the rug. But where I am, excuse me, where I am this morning is, if a military court says it's true because the Supreme Court doesn't want to look at it because it could make things rather ugly for the Supreme Court, then where are we? And Michael, you're the one I'm going to ask. Where are we?
Good morning. Yeah, where are we? That's the whole thing. When you have these NDAs and different things, there's something vibing there of truth, and maybe it's just not the proper time for certain things to come out. We know that this case has been a major focal point for anybody that's followed it the last several years. These two brothers have been rock stars. shot down, brought back up, kept fighting. And again, what does it reflect? What is the importance? It's the integrity of what occurred in 2020. My understanding to all of it has been that it's been on the desks of the Supreme Court justices, and they had tried or possibly had wanted to render a certain parts of decisions, but didn't feel it was within an appropriate time. Also, adding to that, it seemed that the military stepped in as a component to the structure because what it would expose. I think perhaps maybe conversations with others have and had taken place for purposes of the future of what's to come now that we have, President Trump back into office. So
I'm
I
not
think it
putting
all
you on
plays
the spot
according
by
to the exposure.
I'm not putting you on the spot by asking you questions
No,
about it.
you're not
I
putting
hope.
anybody
I
on the
mean, I
spot. I
didn't
mean,
tell anybody.
regardless, enough people know about this, although, it has been kept silent. And I think it's for a purpose of reason. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's a purpose of reason. And I think it'll be part of what Trump. Trump's going to play a significant part to this, but not only that, the downfall of the election integrities and more. You got to understand, there's a lot of fingers pointing at everything that the deep cells and deep state do not want out exposed. I mean, look what they do to anybody that does expose anything. Also puts other people in danger. So I guess when you're walking on glass with such significant truth and facts of what took place and the transparency to that, you may have to sometimes sit back in the chair and say there's a better time element and time frame for this to be and serve more of a purpose.
Okay. Is there a better time to discuss it?
No. I mean, hey, that's
gun?
the whole thing about it. You get a hold of information when you're doing journalism. You do it.
I want. Yeah, I want to discuss it. I mean, I'm not discounting planes that crashed into helicopters over the weekend, the end of last week, or other planes that crashed. It's just like I said to you, and I said to a few other people, when I wanted to ask the next question, what happens? I kind of got the impression that at that time, no one, not you, but no one wanted in my circle, no one wanted to discuss it because it just opens up a can of worms that I don't think anybody wanted to open. And whether or not it raises me up a level in being a journalist, I really don't care anymore because it's just time to look at it. Yes, he's back for another term, but that really doesn't mean anything. He got elected to this term. No one disagrees that he didn't get elected to this term. But what happens to 20 to 24 that he got elected to and didn't serve? I mean, yeah, he still gets his presidential pension because he finished in 2020 and all that. He got the presidential pension, he got the perks, everything that goes with it. Joe Biden is an old man. What do we, you put an old man in prison for what, a year? You tell me he's in prison for the rest of his life, and he's probably going to die just because of how old he is. And because I said he's probably going to die, Facebook may take us off.
I don't think you need to worry about that. I really don't think you need to worry about that because, it's now become more public information. What's the worry here and what's the outcome here? That's what they're looking at. I think that's what the Supreme Court justice is stuck on, working with the military. Because if you steal an election, then everything that took place during the term of that election that you stole it from becomes questionable acts. You get where I'm coming from?
Right. Yeah, Hunter's pardon
Everything.
becomes
It's not
illegal.
just one.
Biden
It's not one
executive
element. Everything that he did becomes questionable.
right,
And what then does the
illegal,
Supreme Court
illegal.
have to decide on? This is enormity of this issue. You remove all the actions.
It's 4 years of our history that it kind of felt like I was the only one who wanted to question it when I thought about this yesterday. You sent me something that said Supreme Court and military courts. Well, the research, the dots that I connected is that the Supreme Court doesn't want to touch it, and probably doesn't want to touch it because they don't know what to do with it. Military courts, they know what to do with it because they're in the military. There's right and there's wrong in a military court, and if wrong is proven, there's some pretty harsh penalties. I don't care about the harsh penalties, like you just said. I care about what happens. There's 4 years of United States history that is going to get flushed down the toilet because it wasn't legal. And I guess when I brought it up originally, no one seemed to want to focus on what does that mean. And where I am right now, I want to focus on what that means. And I don't care if Facebook kicks me off. I don't care if YouTube kicks me off. I'll figure out another way to get on the internet, because my question is, what the hell
Well, again,
now?
there's nothing wrong with talking about the possibilities of everything you're bringing up. I'm just going to leave it like that to you because I think there's no other simpler way to say it. You're looking at a lot here. It's never been done in history before. Can they cancel back everything that has happened in the past 4 years? That's the possibility. How would that help Trump into the future of where we're going? And all the actions that took place, because then we are talking about treason, espionage. I mean, things in terms of language and laws you never heard of before or haven't heard of in 100 years being speaking of in that way. So,
right. Well, how it helps Trump is, I understand there is a Republican senator in the House that is working on getting a bill heard that would allow Trump to run for a third term. I guess that's how in one way, that's how you fix it. But like you said, there's a whole can of worms that we opened up with what happens with the Biden can of worms, the Pandora box that we're opening. Do I just shut up and move on, or do I just say, hey, screw it. It's time to grab this, bring it back, throw it on the table, find the people that want to discuss it and be involved with it, and start doing shows.
I don't know how many shows you can actually do with it. I mean, that's up to you. Because look, the layout is there, the information's there, the facts of the case are true, the paperwork and documents are all factual. Now it comes down to the legality in a way. Does Trump get awarded or possibly awarded a third term due to the theft? Look, they didn't try to protect their side of the integrity by taking out guys like Mike the Pillow Man and Steve Bannon, and all these other factors that come into play. So which means it opens up, as you said, that Pandora's box. This is the enormity of it. I mean, it's mind blowing to think about how the burden of responsibility goes back to the Supreme Court justices and other faculties of law, military, and more. So, I would just say to you, look, if this is what's floating your boat, then stick to everything you can about digging up everything you can and talk about it and narrate your shows around it. But again, when you have something this huge and the possibility of so much that could happen due to it all, I think that's why it's not just sitting swept under a rug somewhere. It's sitting within the hands of how the freak do we get through it and figure it out. And I think, in fact, Trump knows a lot about this, and it's just being kept in his own way, in his own mind, silent. And he's hoping for the best outcome to be favorable
Yeah.
where he could use it to his benefit to get the country back to the proper people that it belongs to.
Right. I mean, I'm sure if I had the connections, the access to President Trump, he would probably say, "I understand. I respect that you want to do it, David. I'll give you all of the information as it is presented, but right now it's not. It's there's just so much information that everybody on my team doesn't know what to do. But now that we know that you and maybe other people are out there and want to discuss it, we just have to figure out how we give it to you. Is that kind of right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to really say it.
Yeah. Okay, well, then we can move on. Mama D said Diddy might have unlived in the hospital today. I hadn't heard that. I overslept a bit. I apologize to people. There was a med change that added a little bit to my morning med, and some mornings I want to sleep, and some mornings I want to get up and hit my desk full bore. And I hit my desk at 9:40 this morning to put this broadcast out. Randy Rhodes, what do you got going on? Because I know Michael and I just kind of jumped and left you. I want to bring you into the conversation because you are my co-host and my buddy in crime on all of this. So,
God, we're gonna be we're gonna be cellmates, huh? So
we maybe
I get the top bunk.
I don't know if I'll be in a cell. Oh yeah, you get the top bunk anyway, but I don't know if I'll be in a cell by the time this is all.
Okay, so here, guys.
This is all done.
This is what you guys are saying. As far as that, far as those 4 years that were stolen, and we all know they were stolen, to do a Back to the Future scenario where we get into our car and we set the time for the year 2020 and restart the whole year with Trump in office. That's not going to happen. We're not going to go backwards.
No, it's not. Well, we could, and Michael probably knows people that could help us discuss that part of it. But go ahead, Randy.
But I mean, we had the opportunity. Okay, we had the opportunity back then when it was taking place. But what happened was the Republicans were looking to the Supreme Court justices to put a stop to what happened and to kick them out and put Trump in the White House because we had the evidence. We had all the evidence. And I'm not going to list them here, but we had so much evidence that it was stolen. What happened was those on the left released the addresses of all the Supreme Court justices. They released the information about where you can find them, where you can find the family, and they told their people to go out and attack them. So that put the Supreme Court justices in fear for their lives and the lives of their families. That's why they, in my opinion, that's why they chose not to take it up in court because of the fear of those on the left attacking their families. And we know they would do that. Okay. It's been proven time and time again. The left, when they give the marching orders to their people, they go out and they do it. Cities burn down. Republicans are kept up late at night because of noise outside their houses. They can't eat in restaurants. We know the left has the power, but yet when they think the J6 happened because of the same scenario, they want to attack us. So again, it's a two-way street on the legalities there. I know that, again, like you said, there's a senator or a congressman, I'm not sure which one, who is looking to change the rules to allow Trump a third chance at running for re-election to make up for what he lost. Okay. Right now, I think Trump is concentrated on the here and now. He wants to get everything done that he can as fast as he can. He wants to undo as much as he can of what the Biden administration did, which he's doing a very good job of so far. So that's where his concentration is, getting the people in place and getting his his desire for our country to be better and bigger in play. And like I said, he's doing a hell of a job with that. Come to end of his 4-year term, if he's not given the opportunity to run again, I see J.D. Vance as a very strong contestant to run for reelection. Maybe with Trump's one son as vice president, I don't know. But if we can get J.D. Vance to run and he gets elected, we know for a fact that Trump's desires will continue to play out because J.D. Vance and Trump are very good friends and they work well together. That's
Yep.
where I'm at with all of that. As far as the airplanes, right now the military is being blamed for being at fault for the
Yep.
crash there. I won't go into it again because we've discussed it quite a bit. Until I see, until I see
I know
new
you
information coming out, we're just going to leave it at this. That we don't know what happened for fact. It was a tragedy. All we know is that the control tower had one person instead of two. We know that the helicopter was at the wrong
Right.
elevation. Blah 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 blah. My question is, what the hell happened to the plane in Philadelphia? I mean, it just took off, okay, and it came down like a damn
Okay.
missile. Okay, something went wrong tragically on that plane. Whether it was, I know it's a medical plane, maybe an open flame and oxygen or something. Who knows? But it came down like a damn rocket and left very small pieces behind to investigate. But it's going to take months to finally get an answer, if we get an answer at all. It might just be one of those where it happened, and I hope.
Now, how quickly do we remove FAA Director Washington and sit down Trump's FAA Director that hopefully comes in ready to rock and roll and knows what's
That
going
should
on?
happen right away.
Michael, you have any idea?
I mean, everything comes with the appropriate timing. And that's basically how I've tried to answer everything today because of where we are within everything. You can't just jump out and speculate. I mean, that's not how Trump works.
No,
Trump works behind the
understand.
faculty of, as he says, over and over, common sense, allowing common sense to guide him and determine the decisions. And hopefully his constituents are acting appropriately the same way. So, knowing everything that we do know, seeing the things that we've seen, speculating on them all, in this day and time where anything is possible and safety is most important. See, that's the other part of the characteristics of Trump, safety. I think he reflects to that on everything we are looking at in the current time we are within. Keeping people safe, making changes, appropriate timing for this to come out, appropriate executive orders to let this be released, knowing what the past has been about, knowing what the future will be about. But again, it goes back to the confirmations and these heroes that are going to step up to the plate to start the battle, this war that we're within. Because like what Randy has said, these people jump and they stop at nothing. These cells are very dangerous, and it's going to take a huge amount of time to rid them completely if we can ever even do that. Because as we take some out, new ones are just waiting in the background to step in somehow, whether there'll be a rhino. These think tanks already are working it out. I mean, if you really consider it, that's how history has always worked. So with that said, it's not good to speculate here. And everybody's going to see something different. Think about it in a courtroom. You can question all the witnesses with all the witnesses in the room, and you'll get different answers if you keep all the other witnesses out of the room and bring them in under oath to testify when they're alone.
Yeah.
So 3 people can see an accident. Everyone will describe it different. You get the characteristic of the point. So again, I think that's why Trump's doing what he's doing and laying out the best he can. What he's determining will create and build a new America. And as I go back and say what I said before, Trump's not going to be the only one identifying areas of desire. Other countries are going to start to do it. And then you'll see a separation of division, but not as it's divided, but to strengthen other segregatorial areas geographically.
Yeah.
And we will see that change also come. It'll come under a different format. Countries will be building upon other countries. Russia will probably have a greater command in Ukraine. China will have, their arms reach to others, like to Taiwan. These things are going to happen. But anyway, again, appropriate time.
Yeah.
When is that all going to be? Trump's leading the way. And I think by him opening that door, we're going to see all this other stuff start to slowly come together. And I think that's why the 10% tariff to China was part of that reflection too of Trump must feel that China is important enough technology-wise to be able to take down this war that we are up against. But again, remember, the strong hand, the upper hand, is the component that controlled all this. Even Putin said, if Trump would have remained in office, we would have never seen a war.
Right.
So, you have to look at all these aspects, is all I'm saying, and appropriate timing for everything.
Yeah. I don't know if I apologize to people or just say I woke up this morning, charged some things before I woke up, just said today is the day that you ask people, what about this? What about that? And maybe it wasn't the right time, but it just felt like that's what Monday, I can't even read my calendar, the 3rd of February felt like. Just it's time to not necessarily light a fire under people's feet to get them to do anything or get their minds to open up and hear anything. It was just that, there's so much bouncing through my mind today that it was just, people.
Well, stay strong, move on to something better. That's all. I mean, you can only talk about it so much and let your body breathe, because it always remembers to do that.
Yeah.
If you fall asleep thinking that your body's going to forget to breathe, you're going to go to bed in fear.
Yeah, well, maybe that may be what they want.
Right, exactly. So, just step into a new category of topic. That's all.
Yeah. Mama D's in the live chat.
You have that capability.
Right. Mama D's in the live chat, and I love Mama D. She's a smart person, and she knows what to bring up and when to bring it up. But she did mention that Diddy may be unlived in a hospital, just saying that he is in the hospital and might be going through an Epstein. And I love Mama D. I would never insult Mama D, but I still think that Epstein might have left the prison to go somewhere in protected custody. I don't believe he left in a body bag, and his brother Mark Epstein even said the same thing, that it pretty much was like the first same, right. These people, they left the prison, but they were under a blanket or something, to make it look like they were unalived, and they're somewhere. And I've said
the funny
before
part about that,
is
really, there is like a funny part to this. If you look at the narrative of that being factually true, then go look at what happened on the Grammys, the televised Grammys.
I didn't watch them.
Suddenly you get somebody that wins the Grammy where her songs were never played, but she was selected, just like an election.
Yeah.
And Beyonce was again last night for the best album. And they stood there and cheer. Why? And could that be part of the message that maybe he is now no longer here, able to take a breath, and they were showing relief of the intensity because of the attacks that they were under, because we know the truth of their actions and their practices.
But is he in that same room with John McAfee, with Jeffrey Epstein? Is he in that same room with Elvis? Is he in that same room? Well, that's the wrong person to put into that room. But is he in that same room with Pablo Escobar and all the people that I just named, because I don't believe our government just offs those people and takes over whatever they were doing. They need those people because those people were doing so well, doing whatever they were doing that.
What I'm seeing here is 35 minutes ago it said that Diddy had a meltdown in jail. He got into a fight. He went to the hospital during the nighttime to avoid questioning for an MRI, potentially of his knee, because he's been having a problem with his knee. He's lost a lot of weight. And then afterwards, he was returned back to his jail cell. So, according to this report, he's still alive and kicking.
And so what does that mean, Michael? Another shut up, think about it, and move on?
What does that mean? Depending upon who's reporting it, was it New York Times, Washington Post? Who's giving the information? I mean, all I'm saying is, is the information trustworthy? Again, we are working around cognitive dissonance. One thing comes out and then the other side attacks. They have that capability. DARPA is the engineers of everything of AI and technology. So, I mean, they will rebuttal and they will contaminate the facts. I'm not saying Randy's wrong. No, I mean, Randy's probably reading something of fact that's put out there. But again, how do we relate into the relationship of the factual and the truth? So we have to use ethic as we look at it. All I'm saying, it was pretty strange last night while that was going on. Could it have been a diversion of a different tactic? And, watching the Grammys, seeing these people that he was so well connected to, they seem to be in celebration about something. What it is, I don't know, because, again, the only thing that they could really, truly be in celebration to is a lie that this woman won, album of the year. Like the album stunk. No radio stations were playing it.
No.
But this is the day that the music died in the country music industry, to see things like this happen. But again, to them, it was a reward, and to me, a selection.
Yep. Okay, I have to apologize to Dr. Craig Peterson if I locked you out of the chat room. I did not mean that. Try to come back in and let me know. And one of these days, I'll either figure out how to do it or I'll get somebody to do it for me. I did not mean to lock you out of the chat room. If I did, Craig. Good morning, Daryl Rector. I see that you popped in, and what we're talking about is, at this point, we're just talking about a lot of different things, a lot of different whatevers that are out there. Because, like I said, I belched, and my brain said, "Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, throw this."
Okay, calm down, brother. Calm down. You're doing fine.
And I don't know.
I do.
I don't.
I know a couple of things anyway. Randy, go ahead.
Michael, you know everything, but
no, I don't. No, I don't.
No, but
I told Randy last night. There are times you got to throw the gloves in the ring and say, "I don't know," because you know what? The rabbit holes are so deep and they're everywhere, and they're so contaminated. It's impossible. But what I can speak on is the things that do come to me that I talk about. Best way to say it, time before the time happens. So in other words, speaking upon items of where, we have concerns, and I talk about the information a month or 2 or 3 months before sometimes it happens. And it's not because I am some type of psychic medium. It's not that.
No.
It's where the information sometimes comes out and it becomes available at earlier points of time. And I speak about some of that stuff. But in the current right now, I mean, I'm at times just as stuck as the next person. And if I was to say to somebody else that, this is like, again, I throw my gloves in the ring and say, no, you've got to walk away. You don't always have an answer.
That's what I'm learning today, and it's a valuable lesson. And I hope people are seeing that, because it kind of it's kind of a comfortable position and it's kind of a not comfortable position, because for the guy who thinks he always has the next thing ready to say, which is me, and I depend on a lot of people, Michael Anthony, even Randy Rhodes helps guide me through as we're going a lot, which is why I'm glad that Randy Rhodes is here with us. Chuck Cook is on vacation, so he's not with us this morning. And but like I said, I've always relied on the people that knew more than I did, and now I guess it's time that I have to. I got very confused and very angry trying to read up more on the Brunson case, only because I was using MSN, I was using Bing, and I was using Google, 3 search engines that are not going to tell me what I need to know. And I couldn't figure out where to go, other than I had 2 Androids and a Windows laptop sitting on my desk, trying to figure out what I needed to know. And I guess I didn't just look and say, well, maybe that's a sign that you let your brain thaw a bit and you kind of move on to something
let's
else.
do that. Let's do that, man. You got to get out of that.
Okay, how about this, guys? I've been seeing where the Marines are being sent not only to Gitmo to get ready for all the new residents of the government housing that's going to be provided to all those who are deserving of it, but also so that we're looking to send or are already in the process of sending Marines to Alaska. Because of the constant incursion of the Russian jet fighters and the soldiers on the ground.
I wish we could get William. I can't think of his last name off the top of my head, but he's done the American Rebellion a lot, and Jerry knows him very well. And I'm not in any way trying to steal anybody. I'm just trying to get somebody to come on from Alaska that knows what's going on, there. Because every time I hear Gitmo, and it may be unrelated to Alaska, but every time I hear Gitmo, Michael, Randy, I wonder, does that mean bad politicians, whether or not they're Republicans or they're Democrats, and they just deserve to be there because they're just bad? Or does it mean because we now have a Republican triple play in the government right now, it's all the bad Democrats that need to go? I guess I have to admit there are bad guys on our side and there are bad guys on their side. There are more bad guys on their side that need to be dealt with right now. But
well, what better way to send a signal of fear to the evil ones? So if they intermix into the population, all the illegals, the worst of the worst that will be imprisoned there, with some of the deep state cells people, that would be a fascinating show in itself. Considering the promised land, come to America, and all that, and now being deported. I mean, there could be a retaliation within the prison walls, and we may not have to do anything. So anyway, I don't know.
As long as I don't end up there, I guess.
Yeah,
we're okay.
I don't suspect I'm going anywhere like that. Thank God. I didn't do anything for it, and I don't think any of us did. But I think it's anytime Trump imposes an action, it's because he's waiting to see their reaction, and then he again puts his mind to work and comes up with a new narrative and plan. Again, these think tanks, and we even have them. There's things on left and right. We kill, they kill. They kill, we kill. We have secret divisions of military. They have secret divisions of military. We have 2 militaries fighting against each other right now. That's truly what we have, what we're up against. The narrative of the 2. It's not just about one. And the presidents of the past warned us about this, and this day would come. And Trump's the actor. getting us through it. And again, giving him the appropriate timing, and when he feels the timeline's right to do it, I think we'll see the reaction to the action, the action to the reaction, and that's how we'll probably go down this new rabbit hole when it all occurs. So it's kind of like that in my mind.
Sit back, drink a cup of coffee, and kind of
Yeah,
just
yeah, exactly. Until the facts are on the table, because we don't have them,
Yeah.
but certain people do.
yeah. I mean, I guess that, like I said, that was that was the step I probably missed this morning. Just because I can't just come on and say, "Hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this." Because I think this morning I was actually looking for the answers, and it was unfair to expect you and Randy and even Matt and Craig Peterson in the live chat, or Daryl Rector in the live chat,
Okay.
all people that I trust, to give me an answer, because nobody has the answer.
Well, look where the answers are at. Okay, today we know Trump's going to East Palestine, so we have factual answers there. So maybe if you just let your focus, of thought go in directions where facts lie, maybe that would help you. I get where you're at. I get where you're at,
Yeah.
and I know it's a hard place to be. And
It
right
hurts.
now, maybe this whole system is caving in on you because your body's signaling to your mind, and your mind's signaling to your body the displeasure, dismay of everything that you're witnessing in in this lifetime, in this
I don't
journey
have
of
answers.
yours. So
I don't have answers.
take the breath, and and release, and because you're not off track, you're on track. But sometimes we all have ill effects from things that are created from social anxieties that they do, and they practice this kind of shit against us. This is what they do to us. They always take us back to a place of being cornered by their actions. So, go to where you can outsource the facts and maybe concentrate there for a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think, Randy?
What I think, I'm probably going to get smacked in the face here for my
No, you're
comment,
not.
but yes.
No, you're not going to
and
get smacked in your comment. And if you got to
I know.
shut off because you say something stupid and Facebook shuts us
Or
down,
the or
that just
or you
means
violate the FCC. I'll say it like that.
I don't think it
I'm
was
not,
a vi- I
I'm
don't
not,
think
I'm not flying that high.
I
What,
told Randy and Deb that I wouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it this way. I don't think it was an FCC violation, what took place Saturday night, and it pissed me off as well as it pissed everybody else off that was on the broadcast, because I don't believe it was an FCC. I actually did tell Randy that we wouldn't discuss it, but we should, because I don't believe it was an FCC violation. I believe it was a Facebook violation, where Facebook said, "No, you guys are not going to talk about this, and we're going to shut you off." And what really pissed me, what would have pissed me off even more if it was a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, is Facebook shut us off, but YouTube would have kept us going the entire time.
I don't know what you're referring to. So, and don't even answer it, because it must be worry on your mind, and I don't know what you're referring to. I didn't see that show.
can I get back to where I was?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that
Go
you're
ahead,
having to
Randy.
sit in the background. And actually, to make it easier, I'll just bow out. And so, go ahead.
What I was, what,
Okay, go
what I
ahead,
was
Randy.
saying was this show is almost starting to line up to be like a Dr. Phil show, like we're talking about our feelings and our fears, and we're trying to figure out, for someone to get some shout, some support, slap on the back, and make us feel better.
No, I don't want to slap on the back. I just need a slap on the head.
Well, I can work that out for you. I still like the idea of creating that device that stands behind. Actually, your wife says she would do it for us. So if your wife's around, let her know that I told her to smack you.
No. No, she's working this morning, and my fidget spinner in my hand is going about 410 miles an hour.
Okay. So if we're talking about this kind of stuff, my daughter gets food stamps, EBT, and she lives with us. So obviously, her food's our food, and she's phenomenal for scheduling out the food and make sure that every day there's enough food and so forth. But today was supposed to be her day that her money drops, and they say, you know what, we're going to change it to the end of the month. So now we're like, okay, so what do we do for food?
Yeah,
So after I get off
we
here, I
don't,
gotta try and
and that
figure out
sucks.
where I'm gonna get food at. But that's my
Yep.
problem, not yours. But uh,
Well, it's my problem to make sure that you get food because I mean, a little bit of my brain is gonna go for the rest of the day until I get back and I can talk to you. Did you figure it out? Are you getting food? I mean, it is something that I am concerned with. I don't want to hear that all of a sudden you're not getting your piece of your piece of that
yeah,
pie, and and you should be. And that's my biggest fear. That right now, they're going to take good people like you, and they took your piece away, and that just kind of makes me wonder: are they going to come after and take my piece or our piece away, and other people's pieces away, and then I'm going to be looking at Michael, got it kind of going. I understand what they did, but I don't understand what they did.
because from my understanding, what Trump is implementing is not supposed to hit the food stamp program. But it looks like it might have, if nothing else, scared them to change the dates on the direct deposits.
Or for
Uh,
people to get back to work, as he's trying to explain to
no, no,
America.
no, I understand that, but like my daughter, she suffers from certain illnesses that prevents her from working. And there are other people, like for example, myself. Luckily, my wife and I we get our second of the week and third of the week checks, but that's next week. But because we would have qualified for food stamps, but between our two checks, we make $20 too much, uh, and
Exactly.
and uh,
Exactly.
But it
and I can't do a
it
physical job, so I'm
it
trying. That's why I'm trying to do my genealogy
right.
thing.
It That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. It could very well be to get enslave every United States citizen into doing some kind of a job. Some of us can sit here and talk through a microphone for an hour and a half, five times a week, and that's easy. But there isn't much else I can do,
Yeah. Well, yeah,
and
but with that said, that means we all as humans, we may fail on one part of one side, but we have success and we can succeed through another ability. And that's, I think,
yeah,
what we're looking at here is how far Trump's going to have to decide AI technology is going to have to compensate for the failure of what's happening in America, because we didn't have these problems 4 years ago, 8 years ago, going into all this. But they are more apparent now. We see it in people's actions, the crashes on the highways, people driving at astronomical speeds and killing people, and all these other scenarios. Yet they combat and they fight the storm systems, the icing, the snows, the facts of the failures on the county and city administrators who are failing, who can't even keep a road salted. This is all to create. This is all part of that significance of the war element. But because you feel one way does not mean that you lose all abilities of function. Disablement comes, yes, and we have it. But how far is a disability? And what creativity can you create from that disability to go further within and or on? I don't make these determinations.
no,
I'm not
I
a
know.
doctor to make them. All I'm doing is creating a fabric of. No wonder Trump is really looking at how far he needs A&I to go and who he needs to be connected with to do it. Because if the American people fail in numbers through disabilities and social anxieties, then there's not going to be anybody out there to plot and supply foods on the lands for the American people to have to maintain health and longevity of life. It puts a precedent in a very hard place. I think this happening, why it happened, especially after we heard from the press secretary, something went wrong. Okay, and maybe Trump will speak about it. Was it a fear tactic or just a motivational tactic to say, okay, America, we got to get back to work together here. I got to cut some things, help a brother out. You got me in here. I need you to work with me. I don't know. I mean, we could look at it that way. It doesn't mean I'm right. And I'm certainly not a psychologist. And I hold no licenses on a wall that says I'm qualified to even speak about what one's dependencies or independencies are. But, maybe just perhaps, wishful thinking. Let me see if this motivates some people. And I think Randy just said that. Was there something like that going on within it? Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. When one does something of anything, do we get enough done? Do you leave a show saying, oh, my God, I wish I would have talked about this. Oh, my God, I wish I would have got this in. Did I say enough? Did we show too much of this? No. Was there enough content on that? Did it help what we did tonight? Look, we all have these social anxieties of certain circumstances. Even I live within them. So I would just say this. Wherever we're good at, stay where we're good at. Wherever that takes you, you'll have success. Believe in yourself. And look, I'm not trying to create, as Randy was saying, this is turning into a soapbox. No, I don't. I try not to get into that. But Dave, you seem to be really down today, a little bit confused. I feel bad for you, brother, that you're going through that.
It's okay. It's all right.
And Randy, to your family, to hear something to where you may not be able to eat, is like getting a knife through my soul.
Yeah.
All right. Because that's not who I believe the president is. And that's not who I believe of where he wants America to go. That's not what it's about. He knows he has the lesser, the people that need more. He knows it. And I think if we just put our trust into where that focus goes, everything's going to work out. We may have to hold breath. We may have to buy a little extra water. We may have to get a few more TV dinners. Shop smart, live smart, and we'll get through this because it's going to get difficult.
I think you're right. I didn't mean to come on and throw a whatever on. On everybody today. Go ahead, Randy.
My daughter is a Democrat, so she doesn't know this unless she's watching the show. I actually did call Fetterman's office this morning concerning this and left them voicemail. So it'll be interesting to see if they respond to my phone call.
Well, I'm sure it's not the only phone call out there because what you described is going to have effects on others.
Yeah.
So hopefully, this is why you have these constituents. Doesn't mean that they're going to work for you, even though that you voted for them or you didn't vote for them, but they are the ones in charge. It doesn't matter who's in charge. You as a citizen have the right to call people, and more people have to call when things are going down because they can get the messages back to the people of importance much faster than we can, I hope this all works out for everybody in a good way, although I do see suffering to occur on many different levels in order to take control of everything that's gone wrong. It's the only way to put it.
Do you see Fetterman crossing the aisle, Michael, or do you just see it as just a game that he's playing? Because I think he's smarter than he's letting people think.
Yeah, he is. He's a halfer. Look, I know this guy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was only 4 minutes from me, 5 minutes, a few miles in Braddock, PA, as the mayor and so forth. And I know the people that he hung out with, and he was a human being. He was hanging out with certain people, rubbing elbows with public, because being that little position, a place that he was within a very small jurisdiction of control. He was out and about doing things. Not all right. I'm not saying they were all wrong. I don't know. I didn't follow his path that way, but I do know he is no different than any of us are. I will just say that. I mean, he's made the mistakes just like we've made mistakes in life. Him being on one side or the other, I think he's a halfer. I think right now he's playing both sides of the party. I won't say it's for political gain, but it's for something. And what it is exactly, I can't determine that. But I do see him showing up in his hoodie and short pants and going here, and sometimes showing up where Trump's at. I don't know what it's all about until something actually comes out from it all. I'm as stuck as you are.
What
I
did
mean,
he have?
I hope you guys.
Did
Go
he have
ahead,
any
Randy.
before running for office? Did he have any political background?
He came from money where political
Shit,
components were in play.
he came from money.
Yeah.
See, this is going to sound wrong, but seeing the way his size and the way he dresses, it almost like he was on the basketball court and one day to say, you know what, I'm done playing basketball. I'm going to run for politics, and he got elected in. And the whole thing with the stroke and not being able to talk and so forth. Maybe that was a stroke in process because of his the speech impediment. But since recovering from the stroke, that dude is on fire. And I do believe that when he sees Trump, I do believe he has a true love for Pennsylvania. So I think when as Trump puts in a policy that's going to benefit the citizens of Pennsylvania, I think he's going to side with Trump. And if Trump decides to do something that goes against the citizens of Pennsylvania, he'll probably vote against him. But as long as Trump's doing stuff to help Pennsylvania, I think Feldman's going to keep voting for him.
Yeah, well, you
What do
got
you
to
think,
Michael?
Michael?
Remember the faculty of the sanctuary state, the blue state, all that. He placed himself where he had no choice but to be. When the bridge collapsed, magically, and all the doorbell footages all disappeared. The Fern Hollow Bridge, when that collapsed and so forth, how they all showed up. They were all there for President Biden, who immediately flew to Pennsylvania. And they were all there. They were all there. And the most fascinating part about that people don't bring back up is the fact that the people that were going to engineer the teardown of this property, who were an hour and a half away, within a phone call of minutes, 10 minutes later, all their equipment showed up. Just tells me the format is not about that he's all for Pennsylvania, but he was all in with the plan for Pennsylvania. Where they were going to do and what they were going to do, how to make it better, to build the infrastructure back up. And we saw all that going into play. Although mismanagement of all the funds, abuse of powers, putting in speed bumps instead of fixing the potholes that lead up to them, meaning you couldn't even drive down the road at a normal rate of speed that they even have posted on the side of the road, because you have to, weave in and out of all the potholes, and then only to go up to what you would hope to be a clearing where you can actually drive on a clear thoroughfare becomes speed bumps. And you can only go up to a certain mile per hour, even though the mile per hour zone is 20 mile per hour, even shows faster, but you cannot drive it. So, these people, this is all witchcraft, man. This is all mind magic, mind control bullshit. But, when Trump came and, when we had that devastating shooting, not one of these people came to the synagogue to meet with Donald Trump. So you can see the narrative of sides here in play of the support system of this widowmaker and the spider web of all these blue states connecting. And really what it was all about was setting the human race up, the population of states, into sanctuary areas to push you into those areas and create the narratives for them. I do worry about Pennsylvania into the future as this war goes on. What will they do? What will they cause? What other devastations will we witness? Because if you look at some of the scenarios of what we just went through, they reflected all the certain areas.
You think Harris screwed you guys up because she's $1 billion, $20 million in the hole?
No, but I mean, if you look at what and why she publicized herself from here through the election, creates a lot of questions, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, was she planning on moving the capital of the U.S. to Pennsylvania? I mean, there's just so many questions that pop into my head that it will be one of those broadcasts that I question everything. Did I, because you were here, did I Did I let Randy talk about everything? Did I listen to everything in the live chat that I could have when this is done? Because I appreciate everybody. My head is starting to gel and feel better. I hope everybody else's head is starting to gel and feel better. And I hope I'm not the only one who woke up with talk about this, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. Hope I can get Michael to talk about this or Randy to talk about this, or people in the live chat to
Well, let's let Randy talk.
Go ahead, Randy, talk.
With the way life is going right now, especially with my own situation, I'm getting to a point where I'm looking to download as much as I can all the old TV shows, all the ones that I grew up with as a child. I mean, not the romper room kind of stuff, but Bonanza, Gunsmoke, F Troop, all the shows that you can watch without having to be fearful that Joe's going to wind up in bed with Tom and Becky's going to wind up doing something to Jennifer and stuff like that. Stuff that goes against my grind. But you know, and I'm hoping that those three guys that Trump picked is able to do something with Hollywood because they have got to get a rein in because and I know I know even back in the golden age of Hollywood, they had the producer's couch where the women had to give themselves to the producer to get a part in the movie, stuff like that. I understand that took place, but and and the thing with and of course you had your Congress was going after the communists in the Hollywood, and they're going after the producers and actors. I understand that shit happened, okay, but I don't need to be mindful that I'm just getting to a point where I'm tired of seeing what's going on. I want to see everyone being able to wake up in the morning and not be afraid that Putin's going to do something stupid or North Korea. I guess I'm getting solemn in my starting to hit my golden age this year. But and as I do the genealogy for my clients, even though I'm losing them, I still have some to cling to. That I'm finding stuff that is so much interest, and that's what's making these people cling to me because I'm finding all these interesting things about their family, and that's another thing, my family screwed up, and I don't know what went wrong with my family, but somehow, somewhere along the way, dear old daddy, got thrown to the side, and nobody cares about him anymore. And I'm not doing a pity party, but it's the truth, I reach out to my son to talk to him, and he doesn't talk back. And I reach out to him for help; he doesn't help me. But back when he was, a teenager, young man, I was there for him, And I guess the way I look at it is that, there are countries, there are societies where the children, after a certain point in time, realize that their parents are elderly and they need to be taken care of. So it switches where the young people take care of their adults. And our country, for the most part, does not have that. It's like your parents get to a certain age, and mom and dad don't throw them into a nursing home. We don't want to deal with them. And that's another reason why I kind of like missed the fact that I had my chance of becoming Amish and I didn't, because the Amish families are so loving, so close. They take care of each other. Speaking of Amish, has anyone seen anything new about the government allowing the Amish to go down there and build those homes for the people in North Carolina? Has that changed at all?
What if they just went down and built them?
There are some that are.
But I thought they were told to stop.
Well, that could, I don't know who would have told them to stand on, especially what a president is pushing for so so hard to go forth on getting people back to their properties and in some type of homes.
I mean, I know BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street, got to be spitting bullets because these people, Michael, are going into those blocks of land and just building homes, and they don't give a crap because those people deserve. Those people deserve a home. I did hear that in North Carolina, finally, the people are being moved into very nice hotels as they're being freed up because, they lived, and, maybe the shitty people are living in tents until they leave. But I'm sorry, I cut you off, Michael. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking back of what Randy was talking about, the Amish and the Quakers and Mennonites, whatever you want to get into. Here's the system. Go back and watch Alfred Hitchcock. He'll explain it all to you. He put it in all his shows. He told you the future. He told you what was going on. He wasn't just a mind bender of information. He was a brilliant person of information, teaching us how to look at the bigger picture. But when we look at that bigger picture is once upon a time, we were much like the Amish. We weren't very much different from them. We all lived on homesteads with our family. So our families were there. We didn't have to pick up a phone to call our son to say, hey, bro, I need some help from you, son. Now children were divided from their parents, and this segregation of futuristic planning from the deep state to separate and divide even our families. And that's why Trump always said families are important, because they were being broke apart. He was sending warnings out to what you needed to think about and how you could possibly help repair your own issues or problems within your own network. But now when you have that, you have to go across the country and say, hey, can you send me $500? I'm really, and well, I don't know, that's because of this divide. We once upon a time were all together, but because of future plannings and systems of plannings, it separated us. Not to say that things weren't good. Go out and conquer and do all you can. Be the difference in the world. Of course, that was all important. But that's where the rubbing of the elbows start to create sparks and fires occur. And that's where we are. So we pulled apart through evolutionary changes of conditionings. We were satisfied in life once before, but no longer do we live within that, which makes you wonder when you look at technology and the purposes of it and the vastness and fastness that it's coming. Is it all because of something else? Are we preparing for something else? None of these things can be taken off the table. Maybe humanity has to prepare for something that's beyond our comprehensions. But again, looking at some of the scenarios of the facts, we had our homesteads and we always had our children next to us and their families were there. And when we were gone, they put dirt over our graves. And then they took over and they became the leaders of the homesteads. And then their children come. That time of era is gone. And that's what I think we hold on to. But not that that's not good, but it's no longer here. It's just no longer here. They've accomplished and achieved a lot of what they wanted to happen. Just like within pharmaceuticals and the decontaminations of so many different things that were naturally good. I'm sorry, contaminating, not decontaminating, but contaminating. And, this is the whole plan. This is the whole plan. And Trump is trying to narrate us back to some type of normalcy there within. But with that, we're going to have to accept some of the bullshit we may not agree with. Because people will not step up to the plate the way they once did. It's just, they can also bring you up, fill your mind with money and glory and fame and idolisms. And what are they at the end of the day? Really, what are they? And what are the people that support them? Lesser than them. Why become lesser than them when you can be just the same as they are, just as good as they are? It's a war of the minds. What? It really is. And that's a lot how the think tank works.
When did the pharmaceutical companies go bad?
Standard Oil.
Or is the question, were they always bad?
Petroleum.
But were they always bad? Was the guy who created Coca-Cola, who thought he was creating the drink that was going to cure you of everything, Was he really bad, or was he just didn't know what
Yeah,
he
he
created?
created a narcotic, cocaine. And he was putting it into the drinks, and grandmas across the world were getting
Yeah.
stoned. I mean, it's true.
Right,
I
but
mean,
did
even
he-
my own
did he-
grandmother was getting
I know, but did he
yelled at
just
by her
not?
husband for drinking the shit.
I know, but did he just not know what he was doing, or did he know what he was doing and did it intentionally?
I don't know. I
Yeah, I
can't
know.
answer that, brother.
What
I
did-
don't know, but
I
I
know.
do know what
I know.
the
I know.
adverse causes of everything that came out from it.
What did I just miss? Who drank what to who?
No. When the guy created
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
he was putting
the
Coke-
pharmacy guy.
He was putting Coke in it to get people addicted to it, but did he know what he was doing and that's why he did it? Or did he just not really have any idea what he was
Well,
doing?
he was
and-
pharmacist. You would think
and-
you'd have enough knowledge of medicine and the various chemicals and what it can do to a person's body. I mean, he's
Yeah.
not stupid. Coca-Cola
That's
is addictive. You know, and I just learned my favorite snack, popcorn, is causes dementia. Yesterday, I was watching some shows,
Oh God.
and that's at the top of the list. The MSGs in popcorn.
Calcium.
Well, you'll have to send that here because I'm already demented.
And you know, there are medications that offset things, but also cause things that, from dementia and from buildup of plaque and calcium and fatty components. You know, and we're learning more about it. And I don't know if we have all the answers, but I will say this: they probably have a book somewhere with the answers that do lie within the things that we question. And that's how they narrate around them. Because if they didn't have the answer, they wouldn't know how to narrate around them to create that circle back product of, okay, you started out with one prescription, but you need 4 other ones to be able to combat that one medication to work properly. It's a circle. It's a circle of, you know, bad health and no cure.
You never get done. You never get
And
done.
then you can't afford them.
It's
And then you
just
can't
more-
afford them. I can remember when my father, who had some money, he wasn't rich, but he had some money. One prescription was like $1,200 a month. $1,200.
Yeah.
Some people don't get that from Social Security. So imagine if he didn't work and get a pension and so forth, how that would work for people.
Yep. They had us coming. They had us going. Now they just have us
That's
going. What do we
That's
do?
one thing I have to be very thankful for my wife, myself. We have UPMC, and all of our medicine is free. You know, all our prescriptions come to us for free. Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, my pain medicine is free. And my daughter says, "Why in the hell is your?" I just swear. She said, "Dad, why is your pain medicine for free?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "Why do you want me to pay for it?" Yeah. So I started using the Express Scripts, and they send me 3 months at a time. Which is not that I'm going to, but the gabapentin is has various levels of side effects.
Lots.
And they sent me 3 months supply of this medicine. I'm thinking to myself, damn, if I ever wanted to overdose, I'm right here.
That was part of the plan. And we're legalizing overdoses.
Okay.
So what was the we heat? Is that your timer saying you got take medicine, or is that someone wants to come in?
No, that was me shaking.
No. There's a higher pitch.
My son knocked on the door because because everyone knows I don't drive anymore because of what I have inside of my head, and I have to go. I need a ride this morning, so my son was just confirming. And to be honest with you, I know it doesn't sound professional, but to be honest with you, everybody's son or daughter knocks on their door every morning and asks them what can they do for you, that morning. And my brain just decided, you know what, let it go. And if anyone complains about it, I just would say, hey, it was kind of humorous in the course of the moment that that it happened.
My daughter, and again, this goes back to my dysfunctional family. My son, my daughter, my grandkids all disagree with my choices in politics and what's hanging on the wall behind me. When they know that I'm live, my daughter especially will not come into this room. Uh,
Well,
and my grandsons
but
will not walk into my office.
that's what makes it. Well, I don't know about your grandsons because I don't know how old they are. But wouldn't it be
18.
interesting? Okay, wouldn't it be interesting if you and your daughter just sat down and did a broadcast without any yelling and screaming or whatever, and she got equal time to explain where she's coming from, and you got equal time to explain where you were coming from, and anybody watching got time to agree with either you or agree with her, and at the end of the day, you're not any closer to agreeing, but you agree to
Right.
disagree. But it was done in a,
See,
for lack of putting it better, in a healthy way.
I agree, and my wife and I, we on the rare occasions that we try to have that conversation, my daughter is full left, and she does not know how to talk sensibly when it comes to politics. She starts raising her voice, and next thing you know, we're shouting,
That's
and
me. Well, that's me, and I'm on our side.
so we try to, as much as possible, keep politics and religion out of our household, and that's just the way it is. I don't want to fight. I really don't want to fight.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anything like that would be. Well, wow. This is none of my business, but I foresee in my mind. No, I mean, really, look, this is something that I think
No,
needs
I
to be
know.
kept within the confinement of their own home to work out the best they can. And it seems like they
No,
have.
I know.
They've already come to some of these conclusions because when Randy's live, she doesn't come in. She gives him his room, his space. She's letting him speak. She could be totally different. She could be like one of the sideliners that we see on TikTok videos screaming at the top of their lungs every time he hits the live button. And she's not in the doorway doing that.
Yeah.
So they are,
Right.
making strides in their own way. But to do it publicly, I would say
No,
I
I
could
know.
never agree with that because, working out your differences with family are best to be kept private. And at least he has,
That's true.
they have respect for each other in some way. As he said, she's a phenomenal cook. She helps out. She makes sure they always eat. She's playing her part in her family network. She's giving dad space
Yeah.
to do what she wants. I'm just saying how I'm feeling the vibe of it.
No,
And
I
if
hear you.
maybe if
I
we
hear
all
you.
did that, both sides could unify a little better too. Instead of always attacking
Yeah.
each other with different viewpoints. Because sometimes you just got to give up on that.
What happened? What happened
No,
in
I know.
L.A.? The left, not left, the Mexicans took over this. I think it was the Route 101, whatever it is, major highway, and took it over. And the police responded, but after a certain point in time, the police closed up shop and left. They left them in control of the street.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we kind of
Well,
hit on
that's a
that last
major
night.
highway.
We kind of hit on that
Yeah,
last
that's a
night.
major highway.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm going to say it's a major highway that goes from the north part of the state to the southern part of the state. That was all I meant to say from when popped into my head from years living in California. But go ahead,
Well,
guys.
I mean, it's like they got a stand down order. And as I said, as Tom Homan is cleaning up everything else, the West Coast is opening a floodgate, and so is the North.
Of course, I got right here.
So that's part of the scenario here. And Newsom is scum, without a doubt.
Yeah.
He is. And I mean, I know people on the other side that don't like him and will be very happy if he would leave. But then I hear it's like they don't vote. And I politely say to them, well, if you don't vote, he's going to be there because the people that keep voting for him are going to keep voting for him. And then you hear Kamala's thinking about running in 2026 when his term is up, and then thinking about trying to claim her seat back in 2028 because she's from California.
Yeah, well, the Californians need to, take their state back. There's no other way to put it, really.
They
Come
do.
on, guys. You know that. We know that.
No, they
We
do.
know
They
that.
do.
I
They do.
mean,
They do.
and maybe
They do.
perhaps it will happen. But as I said, as we go through the psyops and all these different paper wars and everything else, in executive orders, we do this, they do that. It's going to catch us to where nothing gets done. So,
Right.
again, where and what can we do that's most important? I think the residents of California have had enough. And sometimes it takes one catastrophe to come to that conclusion that something was evidently wrong the whole time. So I think they'll clean up their own state now. The ones who do stay behind to continue to live there that can are going to clean up their state, and they're going to change their beliefs in the system of politics, and place somebody in who is actually going to support the citizens of that state, because it can be a great state. And I wouldn't mind living
I
there.
hope
I
they
wouldn't mind
do.
just because of the warm weather all year.
I grew up there, and it was a Republican state. I mean, Ronald Reagan was the governor
Mhm.
twice, and we had a Republican assembly. Santa Clara County, where I lived in, was known for being one of the top Republican swing counties in the world. It didn't matter which Republican ran for nomination, but a Republican was going to win the election. I mean, I don't know if it can get back to that now, but Silicon Valley was you could get a job in Silicon Valley even if you wanted to be a janitor in a building. And because there were so many, everybody was pumping out electronic parts. Everybody was, it was just, I don't know, it was just, people liked each other regardless of what political party you were. And now it's just like, you get off a plane and you say you're a Republican, and, they're going to escort you back to another plane that's leaving as soon as you walk into the airport, if they even let you walk into the airport.
And that's even already happening, which is very sad. If you have something on specifically that the airlines now, certain airlines, think could be a problem of issue, you're removed from the line and not allowed to take the flight.
Yeah. And
it's almost like having your COVID card, but without one. Get it?
Yeah.
Ha.
Oh. All right, guys, I do have to wrap it up at 11:30 only because
You gotta wrap it up.
I have to
like
do an errand.
gift.
They're waiting for me.
Put a ribbon on it.
They're waiting for me to take care of something that I have to go do in
They're
person.
going to take you. They'll leave you behind.
Flip a coin, and either one of you guys
they
take
don't
a
want you anymore.
And say
saying goodbye.
And say take
goodbye, folks. I am Randy of All Roads Legal Genealogy, and I do have a new name, if I can find it here, for my broadcast. I finally decided on one. It's called All Roads Lead to Honoring Our Ancestors. It's going to be first episode this Sunday at 7 p.m., where I'm going to talk about John LeCure, Shane Melvin's ancestor, and the connection to the Native Americans. He is very happy with what I found, and he's been with me for over a year. I have two.
I got to ask a quick question.
No.
John LeCure a writer?
Excuse me?
No. Is John LeCure a writer?
He's dead, but no, he's not a writer that I know of.
Okay, no, that's okay, because it would have linked into one leg of I don't remember which family.
I mean, I can look into it, but
I would have asked you to actually, yeah. Okay, all right, but anyway, finish up. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, that's normal for you. Anyways, I got 2 slots left open for people who want to find out about their families, even though mine are disjointed. I can find yours. I can find all kinds of information, folks, not just, your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, or aunts. If you miss someone, if you are adopted, very good chance I could find those who are related to you. So please, my fees are dirt ass cheap. It's like $3 an hour, and as opposed to $40 an hour, I'm really cheap. I do a very good, thorough job. I have a lot of clients past, several now, who would be more than happy to speak up for my abilities. So, folks, reach out to me. Dave Globin is one of my current clients. We worked out something with him. So all roads lead to genealogy or Randall Roads. Reach out to either one of them. Be
Great.
prepared for Sunday at 7 p.m.
All right.
And that is it for me. I'm out of here, folks.
All right, Randy. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. All roads lead to home genealogy. Randy Rhodes, Randall Rhodes. There was Randy for a long time, but the evil empire did something, and he had to change it to Randall. And on that note, I'm going to say good morning. I hope everybody got what they wanted to get out of the broadcast this morning. As I said, I kind of woke up and there were a lot of things going through my head, and I wasn't really sure where to start or where to end. I'm going to follow the Brunson brothers and see if I can find out more as things happen, and it's not to prove anybody necessarily right or anyone necessarily wrong. It's simply to say, hey, if this happened, Pandora's box is going to open. And I don't care who the president is and who's on the Supreme Court when it opens. It's just going to be ugly. And that's just the way it's going to be. I kept my hand going on a fidget spinner the whole broadcast. My wife, Donna, brought me this beautiful thing that flips 8 million different ways as I'm doing the broadcast. And it kind of looks like dice and keeps folding. And I don't know if it is dementia or what, or just the need to have something in my hands while we're going and we're doing the broadcast, but it seems to work. And that is where it is. We are here Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Usually Randy Rhodes and Chuck Cook and I and Michael Anthony pops in a lot, and I really appreciate it. I learn more and more and more and more and more if I can shut my mouth and listen. And it's hard because sometimes you got a question and you just got to get it out of your mouth. And I know it's rude, but sometimes you just got to get it out of your mouth. And it's not a question of writing it down on a piece of paper, because then I move the piece of paper so that I don't spill my coffee on it, or I don't knock my mic over. So it's just I enjoy having people on. That's why we do this, because I don't know everything. One of my favorite memes that I have is that Dave says Dave knows everything, and if he doesn't, he makes something up fast. And I try not to make something up. I try to have something that at least sounds legitimate and will give you an idea of where my thinking may go after a broadcast. Got an idea for a broadcast? Please let me know. Want to be on a broadcast? It's very simple. For the 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday broadcast, let me know by 9 a.m. Eastern, because we go on at 10 a.m. Eastern. And for the 7 p.m. Easterns on Tuesdays and Thursdays, let me know by 6 p.m. or just come into the live chat and say, hey, send me the link. I want to come on. I got something I got to say. And 9 out of 10 times, or actually 10 out of 10 times, you'll probably get the link as long as there is a channel slot available for you. I prefer that you use a laptop with a camera and a microphone, or a desktop tower with a camera and a microphone, because we don't have good luck with telephones or cell phones. If that's all you have, then that's what we will do, and we'll try to make it work. Anyway, I thank everybody who was in the live chat watching. Sherry Peterson Parker, who is the admin with me of Trump and Conservative Daily News. If you're on our side and you want another group with a lot of information, another great news feed that you can read every day, take part of every day, and just help us grow and grow and grow and grow. I think there are about 1,500 members in there right now, and we're just trying to grow and grow and grow and grow. Our man's in the White House. Our men and women are in Congress. Our men and women are on the Supreme Court. This is the time to just at least be there and feel good about being there. And we're on Facebook Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like I said, at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we're on Facebook Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And we're on YouTube as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Facebook and YouTube on my profile. And then I try to share it out if I can. If I don't, then it's on my profile. It goes into the Facebook news feed. And when you see it, take it and slam it anywhere you want on Facebook. If you want to help me, go over to the Boogie with Bull YouTube channel and find it and take it everywhere off of Facebook. You go and share it. And I will greatly appreciate it if you do. So on that note, I'm going to take one more swig of coffee and say thank you. Like I said, my son is graciously going to help me get to the bank by a little after 12 noon and take care of something that I got to take care of. Anyway, it is what it is. You do what it is, and you appreciate when someone is willing to help you, even though it might make you feel stupid because you can't just walk outside and jump in a car and drive yourself there anymore, which is the hardest part of dealing with the things that I have. I always say we're going to do a show on Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's, or Lewy body dementia and Alzheimer's, because Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are usually one of the two links that comes with Lewy body dementia. There are other kinds of dementia, but Lewy body is the one I have and the one that I'm kind of familiar with. And just talk. A lot of broadcasts I always say we should do. I always say we should do a broadcast with the husbands and or wives and or significant others of people who do the broadcast, and a lot of times sit in the same room and make their comments as we do our broadcast, because we're not perfect. We just try to be, and you either like us or you don't. Let's see. I see a message from Chuck, who was traveling from Iowa down to Florida. He says, "Is Florida burning? We just entered Florida on I-95 from Georgia. Visibility's down to like less than a quarter of a mile, and the fog or whatever the hell it is smells like burning wires. Can't use that word. Stinks. On our way down to Fort Myers." And as we had said to Chuck earlier, we hope that he is being very safe on the roads. I do not know what is going on in that area. I do know that Donna and I were out yesterday. We were in Orange Park, and most of the Clay County Fire Department ambulances and Sheriff's Department vehicles went passing by us. Nowhere near Fort Myers, but there was something major that happened over there that we can hear about, that I will try to get you information about. Hopefully Chuck will be somewhere safe where he can set up tonight and join us on the American Rebellion with Jerry Michaels and Nikki Young and the whole lot of gang of us that joined the American Rebellion. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook. So make sure you're there tonight. Look for the reminders or whatever else you see, and just go there. Everybody tries to share it when we're on, so if you don't know where to go, send me a message and I'll tell you where to go watch it, or I'll get it shared to all of my groups too. whatever we do, what we can to make sure that we try to inform everybody. As I said, we're on Facebook on my profile Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. and Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Those are Eastern time, so adjust yourselves accordingly. I think I've said it about 500 times, so it's time for me to get dressed and get myself out of here and run some errands. So I appreciate everybody who watched. Finish your coffee and enjoy the rest of your day. Double Beats for Victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is about to come to an end. You've been watching Boogie with the Bull Monday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And I thank everybody who watched. Sherry Peterson Parker. Let's see. Dr. Greg Peterson was here, I know. Mama D was here. Michael Anthony was in the live chat and took part in the broadcast. Thank him for coming on. Go to the Michael Anthony page on Facebook. You'll always see his latest broadcasts and wherever he is going to be, or just thoughts that might make you think one day about copying his thoughts down and coming on and sharing your thoughts to it. Anyway, I gotta go, or else I won't keep sitting here, and I just won't get out of here and do the things that I gotta do. Thank you for watching Double B for Victory. This Boogie with a Bull broadcast is going to come